Chosen one, the enemies who stole from you are about to lose everything. Listen closely with a calm heart, because what is being revealed now carries a deep and powerful meaning that many people overlook while walking through their difficult seasons of life. There is a moment unfolding around you that is filled with quiet movement, unseen restoration, and a turning point that heaven has been preparing for a very long time. If this truth settles deeply within your spirit, then take a small step of faith and type 2323 if you believe. This simple act of agreement becomes a gentle declaration that your heart is ready to receive the goodness that God has been carefully preparing in silence. The story unfolding around your life has never been as empty or meaningless as it once appeared during your hardest days of confusion and loss. There were moments when people took advantage of your kindness, misused your trust, and quietly removed things from your life that you believed would never disappear. Some took opportunities, others took peace, while a few even tried to steal the hope that once lived strongly inside your heart. Yet through every hidden tear and silent disappointment, the loving eyes of God remained fixed upon you with patience and unwavering care. Those painful seasons were never ignored by heaven, even when the world around you seemed completely unaware of what you endured. The truth that many fail to understand is that God does not rush the process of justice, because His timing always carries deeper wisdom and greater restoration than human hands could ever create. If your spirit holds even a small spark of belief in the goodness of God, gently affirm that faith by typing Amen. There were moments when you wondered whether the kindness you showed others had been wasted or forgotten. There were nights when your thoughts quietly searched for answers, while the weight of betrayal pressed heavily upon your heart. People around you continued with their lives, while the wounds left behind slowly shaped the person you were becoming. Yet even within that silence, something powerful was being formed inside your spirit that no enemy could understand or control. God was not simply watching your story unfold like a distant observer standing far away from the struggles of your life. He was carefully shaping your endurance, strengthening your patience, and preparing a future that would quietly restore what was taken without your permission. The loss you experienced was not the end of your story, because heaven had already begun preparing a moment of divine balance that would arrive exactly when your heart was strong enough to receive it. During the early parts of your journey, many people misjudged your silence as weakness and misunderstood your kindness as something they could easily take advantage of. They believed your quiet spirit meant you would never rise above the pain they caused or reclaim the peace they disturbed. Yet what they failed to see was the invisible protection of God surrounding your life, slowly preparing a turning point that would shift everything in ways they never imagined. Before continuing deeper into this comforting truth, take a moment to support this video by gently pressing the like button, because this simple action allows this message of hope and healing to reach other hearts that may be silently carrying similar burdens. What many enemies never understand is that God sees every hidden action and every dishonest intention long before human eyes ever notice what is happening. Nothing escapes His awareness, and no act of cruelty disappears without consequence within the quiet justice of heaven. While some people believe they escaped accountability for the harm they caused, God continues patiently writing the final chapters that they cannot yet see unfolding. Your life has always carried more purpose than those people ever recognized, while they were focused only on their own selfish desires. They believed that removing certain blessings from your path would somehow elevate their own lives or secure their personal advantage. What they never realized is that God never builds someone's future upon stolen ground or dishonest victories. The same God who allowed your season of testing to strengthen your character is also the God who restores balance when the time arrives for truth to stand openly in the light. Your enemies may have believed they were taking something valuable from you, yet they never understood that God often allows temporary loss so that a far greater restoration can unfold later. The kindness you carried during those painful days was never weakness, even when others mocked your patience or dismissed your quiet strength. Every moment you chose peace instead of bitterness became a seed that God carefully planted within your future. Those seeds have been growing quietly beneath the surface, while time slowly moves toward the moment of harvest. Many people spend their lives trying to force justice through anger, revenge, or harsh retaliation, believing that human strength is the only path toward restoration. Yet God teaches a different way that is far more powerful and far more lasting than anything human hands could accomplish alone. His justice unfolds with perfect understanding, reaching deeper into situations than human judgment ever could. The people who harmed you believed they were walking away with victory while leaving you behind in disappointment and confusion. They never realized that their actions were quietly creating consequences that would eventually return to them in ways they could not control. God never forgets the suffering of a sincere heart, and He never overlooks the quiet endurance of someone who chooses faith over bitterness. As time moves forward, the truth surrounding your life continues unfolding in ways that will gently reveal the deeper purpose behind everything you experienced. What once felt like unfair loss will slowly transform into a powerful testimony of resilience, healing, and divine restoration. The same people who once dismissed your pain may one day stand silently as they witness the unexpected ways God chooses to bless the life they once tried to diminish. What if abundance could be activated from within your own mind through a powerful sound frequency once kept in classified files? Specialists say this signal naturally draws opportunity and financial independence, and many people are already applying it. Click the link in the description and comments now and switch on this hidden brainwave today. The enemies who once stole from you believed that their actions secured their advantage forever. They imagined that your story had already reached its limit, while their own path continued rising without interruption. Yet heaven has always been quietly writing a different ending for this chapter of your life. God is not only the protector of your heart, but also the defender of every injustice that was hidden from the understanding of others. While the world measures success by temporary gain and outward appearance, God measures truth by the integrity of the heart and the patience of the spirit. The loss you experienced was not the final definition of your journey, because heaven has been quietly preparing a moment of restoration that will surprise even those who believed your story had ended in defeat. Every tear you carried was noticed, every silent prayer was heard, and every moment of faith was carefully remembered. God is gently guiding your life toward a season where peace will return stronger than before, and blessings will appear in ways that reveal His deep care for your story. What others attempted to steal will never remain permanently outside your reach, because heaven holds the authority to restore far beyond what was lost. Those who caused harm may believe they have moved forward, untouched by the consequences of their choices, yet the quiet justice of God always unfolds, with perfect timing. The same hands that once reached out to take from your life will eventually face the weight of the actions they believed would remain hidden. While their paths slowly lead them toward the lessons they created for themselves, your path continues moving toward healing, renewal, and unexpected blessings prepared by the loving heart of God. The story unfolding around you is not about revenge or bitterness, but about the quiet victory of faith that refused to disappear during your darkest hours. During those moments, your heart may have wondered why life moved forward so slowly after everything that had been taken from you. Yet every silent day was shaping something beautiful that could only grow through patience and trust in the loving care of God. Your story did not pause when others walked away, believing they had taken the best parts of your life. Instead, a new chapter quietly began forming in places where no human voice could interfere with the plans God was writing for you. The enemies who once celebrated their temporary advantage never realized that heaven had already begun preparing a restoration that would reach far deeper than the losses they created. There is something powerful about the quiet strength that forms inside a heart that refuses to surrender its faith. When people hurt you, it would have been easy to allow bitterness to grow within your spirit and slowly darken the kindness that once defined your character. Yet the love of God kept whispering gentle reminders that your story was not finished, and your value had never been reduced by the actions of others. God watched the moments when you struggled to understand why certain doors closed so suddenly, and why people you trusted revealed unexpected intentions. Those moments felt confusing and painful, yet they were also separating you from environments that were never meant to carry your future. What felt like loss at the time was quietly becoming protection that would later guide you toward a life filled with deeper peace and stronger purpose. There is a beautiful truth that unfolds when God begins restoring what was taken from a faithful heart. The restoration does not simply return things in the same fragile condition they once existed. Instead, God rebuilds blessings with greater strength, deeper meaning, and lasting stability that cannot easily be shaken again by the actions of others. If this truth brings peace into your spirit, gently affirm your agreement by typing yes. The enemies who once believed they had secured their success through dishonest actions are slowly discovering that temporary gain never becomes lasting security. What is taken without integrity often carries hidden consequences that appear quietly over time. God allows people the freedom to make their own choices, yet every action eventually meets the gentle but firm balance of divine justice. While those individuals continue walking their path, your journey is moving in a completely different direction that is guided by healing and restoration. The wounds you carried once felt heavy, yet they slowly shaped a deeper compassion inside your heart that many people will never fully understand. That compassion has become one of the greatest strengths within your spirit. There are people who will enter your life in the coming days, who will feel the warmth of your kindness and recognize the quiet wisdom formed through your experiences. Your story will become a place of comfort for others who are still walking through confusion and loss. What once felt like painful chapters in your life will eventually become a source of hope for someone else searching for reassurance. God often transforms suffering into wisdom that carries the power to heal not only your heart, but also the hearts of those who encounter your journey. The pain you endured was never meaningless because it formed a depth within you that cannot be created through comfort alone. Every difficult moment was shaping a spirit that would one day stand stronger than before. The enemies who once removed blessings from your life believed they were controlling your future with their actions. They assumed that taking opportunities away from you would somehow elevate their own path and reduce your ability to rise again. What they never understood is that God never allows someone's destiny to be permanently stolen by the selfish decisions of others. God has always held the final authority over the direction of your life, and His plans carry far more strength than the temporary interference of human intentions. Even when circumstances appeared unfair, heaven was quietly guiding you away from situations that could have caused greater harm later. The protection of God sometimes appears disguised as loss because it removes things that could have trapped your future in environments that were not aligned with your purpose. What felt painful at the time was gently redirecting your steps toward a path where your gifts and kindness would be valued rather than exploited? What if wealth was never about chance, but about a hidden brain signal that stayed buried in classified records? This powerful frequency is now opening doors, attracting fresh opportunities, and transforming lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to bring prosperity into their lives in ways they never imagined possible. Click the link in the description and comments now, and turn on the money-attracting brainwave today. As time continues unfolding, you will begin to notice small changes appearing around your life that signal the beginning of restoration. New opportunities will emerge in places that once felt empty, and peace will return to areas of your heart that once carried deep disappointment. The healing process will move gently, yet its results will be stronger than anything you experienced before. Many people search for dramatic moments when justice suddenly arrives with loud announcements and visible consequences. Yet the justice of God often unfolds quietly, allowing truth to reveal itself through time and circumstance, rather than sudden displays of power. Those who once celebrated their dishonest victories will slowly realize that what they gained does not bring the peace they expected. The absence of peace often becomes the quiet reminder that something was built upon the wrong foundation. Success obtained through harming others cannot create lasting joy because it carries the weight of imbalance within its structure. Over time, that imbalance begins to reveal itself in ways that human planning cannot prevent. Meanwhile, your life will continue moving towards stability and quiet fulfillment because your path was built upon patience and trust rather than deception. The seeds of faith you planted during difficult days are beginning to grow into blessings that will surprise you with their beauty. Your kindness was never wasted, even when people misused it during moments when your heart was open and trusting. Every act of goodness was seen by God and carefully remembered within the greater story He is unfolding for your life. The generosity you showed others will return in ways that restore far more than what was lost. There is a peaceful confidence that begins forming within a heart that understands the faithfulness of God. That confidence does not depend on controlling every situation or forcing outcomes through human effort. Instead, it rests gently in the assurance that God is guiding every step toward a future that carries purpose and peace. If this reassurance settles deeply into your spirit, affirm your faith by typing 1212. Your enemies once believed that removing certain blessings from your life would permanently change your direction. They thought your strength would fade and your hope would slowly disappear under the weight of disappointment. Yet they never realized that God was quietly transforming your pain into resilience that cannot easily be broken. The restoration unfolding ahead of you will not only replace what was taken, but also reveal the deeper purpose behind every trial you endured. The kindness that remained in your heart during those difficult days will become a light that guides others who are still walking through their own seasons of loss. God never forgets the faithful heart that continues believing in goodness, even when surrounded by betrayal and misunderstanding. The quiet endurance you showed during those moments became a testimony of faith that heaven has been carefully honoring. As this new season unfolds around your life, you will begin to notice the gentle ways God restores balance without creating bitterness inside your spirit. The blessings arriving in your path will carry peace rather than pride, and they will strengthen your compassion rather than harden your heart. The enemies who once took from you will eventually face the emptiness created by their own actions, while your life continues moving toward healing, stability, and renewed joy. This difference will not come through revenge or retaliation, but through the quiet justice that God establishes over time. Your story continues rising beyond the limits others tried to place upon it, and the future ahead carries blessings that no human hand can remove again. The same God who watched over you during your most painful moments is now guiding your steps into a season of restoration that will gently reveal how deeply you have always been loved and protected. What many people fail to understand is that when someone tries to steal from a life that God has chosen to guide, they are not only harming another person, but also interfering with a plan that heaven has carefully designed. No human action can permanently stop the direction that God has already prepared for someone who walks with faith and patience. The enemies who once believed they had gained something by hurting you never realized they were stepping into a situation far greater than their own understanding. God watched every moment when your heart struggled to make sense of the injustice you experienced. There were times when your thoughts quietly searched for peace, while your emotions carried the memory of betrayal and disappointment. Those were the days when your strength was quietly growing, even though it felt like you were simply surviving each passing moment. Every tear that fell during those silent nights was seen by heaven with deep compassion. God never looked away from the pain you carried, even when the world around you seemed unaware of the weight resting on your heart. The love of God remained close to you, surrounding your life with protection even when circumstances appeared uncertain. There is a powerful truth that many people overlook during seasons of loss. When something is taken from you unfairly, it often reveals more about the character of those who caused the harm than it ever reveals about your own worth or value. The actions of others never had the authority to define who you are in the eyes of God. While those individuals believed they were gaining advantage through dishonest choices, they were unknowingly creating consequences that would slowly return to them in ways they never expected. God allows people the freedom to choose their actions, yet every decision carries its own path of results that cannot be avoided forever. Your response to those painful events became something far more powerful than the actions that caused them. Instead of allowing bitterness to control your spirit, you continued holding on to faith even when it felt fragile. That quiet faith became the foundation for the restoration that God is now bringing into your life. If your heart still holds trust in the goodness of God, gently affirm that faith by typing 1919. The journey you walked through was never meant to break your spirit or permanently weaken your hope. Instead, it shaped a deeper strength inside you that could only be formed through endurance and trust. Every difficult moment was building a resilience that now prepares you to receive the blessings God has been preparing. Inside your mind is a small region connected to achievement and abundance, once concealed within restricted research and classified documents. This newly disclosed frequency is helping people replace financial pressure with calm and balance, and God has guided you to encounter this at just the right time. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. The enemies who once celebrated their temporary success never realized that their actions were also creating distance between themselves and the peace they hoped to achieve. What they gained through dishonesty could never provide the lasting fulfillment that only integrity and kindness can create. Over time, they will begin to see that what appeared to be victory was actually the beginning of a path filled with unexpected challenges. God does not need loud displays of power to restore balance within the world. His justice unfolds through quiet shifts that slowly reveal the truth behind every situation. Meanwhile, your life continues moving toward healing and restoration because your path was built upon patience rather than deception. The kindness you carried through difficult moments was not wasted or forgotten. Every act of goodness became a seed planted within your future, waiting patiently for the right moment to grow. There are people who will soon cross your path, who will recognize the sincerity within your heart and appreciate the compassion shaped by your experiences. They will value your presence not for what you can give them, but for the genuine spirit you carry within your life. These connections will feel different from the relationships that once brought disappointment into your journey. They will be built upon mutual respect and sincere care rather than selfish advantage. God often removes certain people from our lives so that better connections can grow in their place. When you look back on the seasons that once felt painful and confusing, you will begin to understand that those experiences were gently guiding you away from environments that could never truly support your future. What once felt like loss will gradually reveal itself as protection. The restoration that God brings does not simply replace what was taken. Instead, it creates something far stronger and more meaningful than what existed before. The blessings arriving in your life will carry deeper stability and greater peace because they are built upon lessons learned through patience. The enemies who once took from you believed they were controlling the direction of your future. They assumed your strength would fade and your confidence would slowly disappear under the weight of their actions. Yet they never realized that God was quietly strengthening you in ways they could never understand. As time continues unfolding, you will begin to see how the experiences that once hurt you also prepared you to walk with greater wisdom. You will recognize situations that once confused you and understand them with clarity that only experience can provide. God often uses hardship to refine the heart and shape a spirit that carries deeper compassion for others. The pain you endured has created a sensitivity within you that allows you to understand the struggles of people who are still walking through their own difficult seasons. Your story will become a source of encouragement for others who feel overwhelmed by the actions of those around them. The peace that now begins to grow within your life will quietly demonstrate that faith can survive even the most painful disappointments. If these words bring comfort to your heart, gently affirm that hope by typing 666. The enemies who once stole from you believed they had permanently changed the course of your life. They imagined your path would remain limited by the harm they caused and the opportunities they removed. Yet heaven was quietly preparing a future far greater than anything they attempted to control. God never abandons the person who continues to walk with faith even when circumstances appear unfair. His plans often unfold slowly because they are built upon wisdom rather than impulse. Every step in your journey has been guiding you toward a future that carries deeper peace and stronger purpose. The restoration coming into your life will not arrive through revenge or bitterness. Instead, it will appear through opportunities, relationships, and blessings that quietly replace what was lost. The difference will be clear because these new gifts will carry stability and lasting peace. Those who once harmed you will slowly realize that their actions did not create the outcome they expected. The things they gained will not provide the satisfaction they once imagined. Meanwhile, your life will continue moving forward with healing and renewal. God is gently writing a new chapter for you that is filled with hope, strength, and meaningful blessings. The pain of the past will not disappear from your memory, yet it will no longer control the direction of your life. Instead, it will remind you of how far you have come and how faithfully God carried you through every difficult moment. As time continues moving forward, the heart slowly begins to see that God never abandoned the moments when life felt unfair and confusing. The silence that once surrounded your struggles was never empty, even though it sometimes appeared that heaven was distant from your pain. God was quietly watching every detail of your story, carefully protecting the parts of your life that would later become the foundation of your restoration. What seemed like an ending during those painful days was actually the beginning of something deeper that only patience and faith could reveal. There were times when you looked at what had been taken from you and wondered why such things were allowed to happen. Your kindness had been genuine, your intentions had been sincere, and your heart had always carried a desire to treat others with honesty and compassion. Yet some people saw those beautiful qualities and chose to misuse them for their own advantage. That betrayal felt deeply personal because it came from places where trust once lived. God understands that kind of pain with great tenderness because He knows the quiet wounds that form when goodness is met with dishonesty. Those wounds are not visible to everyone around you, yet they carry a weight that only the heart can truly feel. During those moments when you struggled to understand what went wrong, God remained close, slowly strengthening the parts of your spirit that would one day stand stronger than before. The enemies who once stole from you believed they were gaining something valuable through their actions. They thought that taking opportunities, peace, or resources from your life would somehow improve their own path. What they never understood is that blessings built upon injustice cannot create lasting stability or genuine joy. A little-known 7-second morning habit that was once confined to CIA documents is now resurfacing in public view, and people are already noticing rapid financial improvements. It only takes a few seconds to do, yet it activates a dormant wealth center in the brain that most individuals never tap into. Click the link in the description and comments now to see it before it disappears. God never allows dishonesty to become the true foundation of a peaceful life. For a while it may appear as if those people are moving forward without consequence, enjoying the advantages they gained from harming others. Yet time always reveals the deeper truth hidden behind those temporary victories. While they continue walking their path, something beautiful has been happening quietly within your life. Your spirit has been growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient through every experience you have endured. The compassion inside your heart has become deeper, and your understanding of people has become clearer. What once felt like weakness has slowly transformed into a quiet strength that many people around you will begin to notice. This strength does not come from anger or bitterness, but from the peace that forms when someone trusts God even after experiencing disappointment. It is a strength that carries patience, kindness, and wisdom all at once. If your heart still chooses faith despite everything you have faced, gently affirm that belief by typing 2020. The journey you walked through was shaping something far more meaningful than you realized at the time. Every difficult moment was teaching you how to recognize truth, how to protect your peace, and how to value relationships that are built upon sincerity. These lessons were not meant to make your heart hard or distant from others. Instead, they were preparing you to walk through life with greater clarity and deeper compassion. You now understand the importance of honesty in ways that many people never learn. You recognize the quiet beauty of loyalty and the rare value of people who truly care for the well-being of others. The restoration God brings into your life will reflect those lessons in powerful ways. The blessings arriving in your future will carry stability because they will be connected to people and opportunities that respect the goodness within your spirit. These new chapters will not feel like the fragile situations that once caused you pain. Instead, they will feel like safe places where your kindness is appreciated rather than exploited. God often removes certain individuals from our lives so that healthier relationships can eventually grow.